And the most important, okay, here it is, make marijuana great again.
CanNaAge. CanNaAge.
For the first 100 years of our country's history, it would have been absolutely insane for someone to come in and tell an American what he can or not consume, because that was an intricate part of the idea of a person has rights, and we believe, of course, given by God. Well, I believe the first step toward freedom, of course, is to make sure we reaffirm that people have a right to control their own bodies. People have a right to basically consume what they choose to consume. And a lot of people make mistakes. I made a major error this morning. I had 2 spoonfuls of sugar in my coffee. And that's not good for you, but boy, I really made that coffee taste a lot better to me this morning, and I decided that's what I was going to do. Well, that's it. That's freedom. You have your choice, and I don't know, I'm sure many of you most of you must be totally aware that they made alcohol illegal in the United States. And for 12 years, they tried to stamp out the use of alcohol. That, of course, led to the creation of a organized crime element in American society that has been with us ever since. And it did not work. It did not work. And also, during the time when alcohol was illegal, thousands of Americans died of alcohol poisoning because the alcohol they were getting was not of a quality. They didn't have a brand to go to so that they could trust. And it poisoned tens of thousands of Americans. America discarded that in the 1930s because it did not work. But at the same time, we instituted controls on cannabis. One of the worst of all the prohibitions that we've had in terms of societal impact in the United States has been the prohibition on cannabis, because cannabis not only represents freedom, and not only have we created a police state type operation in order to control people's consumption of cannabis, but we have also, not overlooked, but we have put into a corner and fenced off the potential medical benefits of something that God gave us, I believe, to try to utilize to deal with human suffering. And we're finding out that cannabis has really a very high level of potential of helping us with various diseases, and put people in jail, put individuals in jail over these last 75, 100 years for consuming something that they just wanted to consume. That's a travesty in and of itself. But for us to have instituted a system to try to suppress that, while at the same time suppressed medical research, is a sin against society and a sin against the world. Now, if you had told me 50 years ago that I was going to be a national leader on trying to free the American people from their restrictions on them from consuming cannabis, I would have told you you're crazy. But the fact is that those marijuana laws were in place and have been in place all of this time since the 1930s. And they too have caused enormous damage to the United States and to the world, just as the attempt to prevent people from drinking not only did not help people, but caused tremendous damage with the emergence of organized crime, etc., and also the deaths that took place during that time of prohibition. And I will tell you that what I'm doing now, in terms of trying to end the cannabis prohibition, I consider to be part of the fight for freedom. I'm very happy is what's happened is that 4 years ago, we really started down this road of legalizing the medical use of cannabis. Today, it is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's still very much in its infancy, and we are about to unleash on the world a whole new series of medical research efforts that I believe, and already from what the Israelis have given us with the epilepsy finding, will be of tremendous benefit. 44 states have already, in the United States, had some degree of liberalization. Some all cannabis, use of cannabis has been totally legalized. I spoke with Donald Trump before he was nominated, and his specific answer was that medical marijuana should be legal and in the United States, and that the personal use of marijuana should be just left up to the states. Very clear. Now, what's happening now that he is president? I have spoken directly to the new Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, who is a longtime friend of mine, and I did not ask for a commitment. I'm not there to say, you tell me yes or no now. No, I wouldn't do that. We had a fine discussion, and I left it with Jeff that his boss, President of the United States, when asking for the sanction of the people to vote for him, give me your sanction to make the rules. I am going to make cannabis for medical purposes legal, and the rest is left up to the states. I confronted Jeff with that, and it was, I could tell there's a very serious recognition on his part that there should be a relationship between, in a free society, where people are asking for someone's vote, they tell them what position they're going to have, and it is the morally right thing and should be an imperative for people to keep their word to their voters as to exactly what position they're going to have on important issues. So what to expect? I don't know. I don't, but I'm hoping that Donald Trump and Senator Sessions, now Attorney General Sessions, get that message. The American people want their freedom, and when we say that, we want to make sure we have the right to use cannabis, at least for medical purposes, if not free to use it in any way we want as free Americans.
Yo, give it up. United States Congressman Dana